Welcome to the Connection Revolution podcast. I'm so thankful that you're joining us for this episode. This is a unique episode because today our producer is our guest. Nate, it is absolutely great to have you with us, especially for this podcast.
Yes, it's fun to be the guest finally.
God has called you into this amazing journey as a media missionary. And somebody might hear that term and think, what in the world does that mean? Well, we're going to hear about that. You're going to help us be educated about that today. I'm looking forward to that. I'd love to start out just by asking you to tell a little bit of an introduction to about yourself and how your journey with the Lord began and what that's like.
God led me to this place of where all my passions, my experience, and my giftings all kind of came together and aligned in this kind of dream He gave me to um, see what it would be like to be a media missionary. It all kind of came together with this idea of a studio, starting a studio, and so I'll talk a little bit about the why I'm doing what I'm doing, and then the studio is kind of the how.
Tell us a little bit about, or whatever you want to say, really, about this calling about being a media missionary, because that's a term maybe a lot of people haven't heard before.
When I say media missions or to be a media missionary, I've realized that it's actually really important to make a distinction between um, Christian media and media missions. And what I really feel like differentiates media missions is it's not just going into that space to be competitive in that space and represent the church and Christian culture, but it's actually looking at media as a landscape where people live out part of their lives now. And even that element, it's only in the maybe last 15 years to be as significant as it is,
Yeah.
especially amongst young people, is with smartphones and the way the internet has, videos online are tailored to the specific person that watches them on their account, and social media
Mhm.
with apps like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. That's even more recent, and that has created a trend that never existed before, which is people are actually living out part of their lives in the space of media. And so what does it look like to live on mission to that landscape with a strategy to actually draw people away from the things that are dark in that place? You need to have an informed idea to be able to wisely strategize to reach people, and you're reaching them not just to represent the church or in terms of an organization and try to be relevant, but you're not trying to inform necessarily their opinion of you. You're trying to actually draw people out of darkness with
Mhm.
the truth of the gospel and the power of the gospel. There's definitely a need, and
Yeah.
that's basically my why is, do we need media missionaries in the
Yeah.
world?
That's
And
that's
I feel like
really,
yes.
really, yes. This journey of you saying yes to being a media missionary and what this relates to has also led to something called Bannered Studios. Tell us about that.
The easiest way to kind of describe it is similar to the Bible Project, a nonprofit animation studio.
Mm.
And the reason I feel called to start with that is it's part of my background is in illustration and animation, and it's a powerful tool to communicate very simply, and it can be placed in media, and you can do a lot with a little because of animation. And there's just certain ways that the experience I've had and the giftings I've had have kind of aligned for me to being able to make animations and create content that I can put online, that can start reaching people. So now people are used to custom tailored things that they're more likely to see things they connect to and relate to on the screen than in their daily life. And so there's a very compelling reason to be on this device or the screen, because you're way more likely to see stuff you actually relate to and connect with because it's being tailored by an algorithm to your interests.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so this is more of where we get into the how of, is there a way to do the media side of things where it's still maybe Christian media or however you want to frame it, uh but it's using some of the knowledge of how the landscape works to actually draw people to the gospel.
What's on your heart about this, Nate, this luncheon on May 9th?
Yeah, I think just getting an awareness of, this is what's on my heart, this is what I feel called to do about it, and would you help? Is do you see the need for media missionaries? And if so, would you help in these few ways?
To those of you listening, watching to this Connection Revolution podcast, so thankful you're taking the time to join us. And we look forward to when you're back with us next time as the Connection Revolution continues.
Connection Revolution, let it change your life.